Welcome to Experience Oldsmar with the Mayor podcast. I'm your host, Mayor Dan Saracki, broadcasting live from the top of the bay in beautiful downtown Oldsmar at the old bank building. With over 17 years of experience in government leadership, my guest today is our Safety Harbor mayor, my favorite mayor in the whole world, Joe Ayoub. Welcome, Joe.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Great to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
You know, I'm really honored that you came to the city of Oldsmar. You crossed that bridge and got over that water to come here. Thank you so much.
A 12-minute drive. It was a real hardship for me to get here.
I love it.
Yeah.
I understand you've been a resident of Safety Harbor since 1990. Is that true?
You heard right.
Wow. So where did you grow up as a child?
So I was born in Brooklyn, New York. But when I was 6 months old, I had enough of the cold up there and convinced my family to move down to Florida. They settled. Yeah, you're giving me that look. No, I'm kidding, Dan. They made the decision to move down here. I was only 6 months old. So we all moved down here. We moved to Palm Harbor. I grew up there. My whole childhood was in Palm Harbor. In 1990, my mom and stepdad moved to Safety Harbor, and that's where I moved to go to high school at Countryside High School. And so I've been in Safety Harbor ever since.
That's fantastic. So do you miss the cold?
Sometimes I do. It's really hot over here.
Yeah, it's been hot.
I mean, it'll be a nice balance, to offset the heat that we've been getting.
That's great. Well, Safety Harbor is a really cool city, and we'll get into more of that. Besides being mayor, you have your own company. I guess you have a certified public accountant. Why don't you tell us about that?
So you're right. I am a CPA, and I spent most of my career in private industry. I spent almost 10 years with the company my brother started in various financial roles. We went through mergers, we went through acquisitions, we went through private equity transactions. I wore many different financial hats, and I left there a few years ago, and then I started my own consulting company. So since then, I've been consulting for individuals and businesses.
So is your accounting firm right in downtown Safety Harbor?
So I don't actually do accounting. I do consulting.
Okay.
So, I mean, the consulting is accounting related, but I'm not doing tax returns. But my office is, I have a home office, and sometimes I'll go out to a client and work there.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So where did you go to college?
So I did my undergraduate at the University of Florida, and then I moved back to home, and I got my master's degree in accounting at the University of South Florida.
And what's that degree, in accounting?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Master's in accounting, yeah.
That's fantastic. What made you decide to get in this wonderful realm of local politics?
I know. So here's the story. I've always been interested in public service. I've always been interested in government and politics, but I never thought I could do it. I was afraid to speak in public. But when I was in probably my mid-20s, I was living in the same neighborhood as the mayor, and he asked me to be on the Budget Advisory Committee, now known as the Finance Advisory Board, and because of my background. So I did, and I started paying more attention to what was going on in local government, and a seat opened up, and I thought, maybe I should run for it, and thank God I did not have an opponent, Dan, because had I had an opponent, God knows what I would, how that election would have turned out. But I walked in, and ever since then, I've had many elections, won some, lost some, but that was how it all started.
So who was the mayor at that time? Was it Andy?
It was Andy Seinfeld.
Yeah. I really like Andy.
Yeah,
he's on your council right now, right?
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I really, when he was mayor of Safety Harbor, when I first was elected, he was a real, like a mentor for me. He really helped me guide me through, and yeah, he's a great guy, just like you.
You probably told him he was your favorite mayor when you knew.
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I never did.
Right,
I'm going to be honest.
All right.
You originally served on the city council for Safety Harbor. What years was that?
So I was on the city council from 2007 to 2012. And then Andy, who was the mayor, resigned to run for judge. So I offered to be the mayor to finish that term. And no one ran against me. So I was mayor for 1 year. But then I was out of public service for 3 years. Then I got back in 2017, and I've been mayor since then.
So you were elected as mayor in 2017.
Yes, for my first full term.
So when you were in, I want to just talk about this for a minute. When you were in city council, you were involved in that recession in 2009 and 10, and that must have been a ride there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was not fun. You're looking at potential layoffs. You're looking at cuts. I mean, it's more fun
Foreclosures.
when you have more money than you need, but when you don't have enough money, it's not fun doing those budget workshops. And I'm sure you've seen both in your career too, where there's some budget workshops are just not that fun, and others are a little more rewarding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So you're in your second term?
Third term.
Third term as mayor.
Yeah.
And now can you go for a fourth?
There are no term limits.
So see, our city, we have term limits. Yeah, unfortunately. But you guys are great. You can stay there forever if you want.
Well, the term limit is you got to get reelected. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but you've been doing a great job. That's not going to be an issue for you. You know that, Joe.
I mean, it's always an issue. You never know.
What are some of the organizations you represent as mayor?
So the big one, which we work together, is the Mayor's Council. I was recently, up until, I don't know, about a month ago, the president of the Mayor's Council. But right now, I'm not involved in any other organizations.
Yeah. The Mayor's Council, you've done a great job the past year, and now Ken Welch, our mayor of St. Pete, is taking over for you. But I really enjoyed you as our chair president of that. You did a wonderful job, buddy. You did.
You were just so full of compliments, Dan.
I have to be.
Yeah, it's part of the role, right?
All right. So since being elected to the city commission, what initiatives have you seen implemented for the city of Safety Harbor and the community?
So I will say working with the entire committee. When I was a commissioner, I was part of a lot of initiatives, and as mayor, I think I was part of a lot of initiatives, but none of them were me doing anything alone. It's always been teamwork with the other commission, with the residents, with the city staff. But some of the big accomplishments is we've acquired and purchased a lot of parkland. We got the waterfront park behind the Safety Harbor Spa. We got the Baranoff Park right on Main Street, where we preserved an oak tree that's, I don't know, maybe 350 years old. We had a gentleman, George Weiss, donate the city many acres off of MLK for Folly Farm, which is now a beautiful farm, which has got a nature preserve and goats and chickens and butterfly garden. It's got all this really cool stuff. So we've done that. We've revitalized our downtown. We're currently working on a second-story addition to the library. We've kept our taxes low. We've run a very fiscally conservative, budget. So I think we've done a lot of really good things in the city.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Your city, even on those Fridays where the streets are packed, the wine festival. I mean, it's just an amazing downtown that you have, and praying that someday we have that same situation as you.
You guys have a great downtown. I've been to a lot of events in your downtown. They're great. I've been part of your parade in the past, but they're unique, so no downtown is the same. So we're both lucky for what we have.
Right, exactly. And one thing that you mentioned, the parade, your parade, the Christmas parade, that's amazing. The people that are lined up on that street is just fascinating.
It's a lot of fun. I got two little girls. They love throwing candy out to the spectators on the side of the street. You get to walk down and see everyone. That's a fun time of year. Those couple of weeks where you got the parade, you got the mayor's breakfast, you got the Christmas tree lighting. So that's a special time of year.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, that parade is like one of my favorite parades. It's been like that since the first I got elected on council.
See?
It's just
you're always there.
Well, it's what's funny, it seems like it gets busier every year. I mean, last year it was longer. It just never ended.
I know.
It was like it just kept going.
It's an illusion. It's always the same. It starts in front of the spot and it goes to 9th Avenue. But it feels like it's longer, right?
Well,
maybe we just go a lot slower.
When we set up, though, when you guys set up, I mean, look at the line down the road. What is that?
I know. It goes
Bayshore Park. I mean, it's all the way down Bayshore.
South Bayshore, it goes all the way down.
So what do you feel are some of the challenges both of our communities face?
Since you're our neighboring city, I kind of follow what's going on here. And I think it's the people that don't want any change, that want to hang on to the historical quaintness, which is something I value too. But then you have people that want to see the city grow. I mean, but there are mechanisms in place that prevent too much growth, whether it be the land and zoning code, the lack of available land to build anything. Our population has actually been pretty steady.
For both of us.
Yeah, for as long as I can remember. So it's not like we're growing population-wise. So we do get some new buildings in downtown, and some older homes get replaced with some newer homes. But the actual population is maybe ticked up a little bit, but not much. But the other thing we're grappling with right now, or the last few months, has been noise from live bands. and just trying to get a handle on that. And we've actually looked at what Oldsmar does to see if we can get some ideas on how to address that in our city too.
Yeah, one of the things that I think has worked for us is we have live music over at Jack Willie's and on the water and all those residential homes. They shut down right at 10 o'clock. Boom. I mean, it's over. Done.
Yeah.
And they're closed by 10:30 at night. So I think that has worked. Now, I was at one of your events for the noise when I remember that was going on about a month and a half ago, but they shut it down quick. I mean, the noise stopped right away. Was it 10 or 11?
They stop it at 10. You're allowed to go to 11. But yeah, I think the issue is even before 10, how loud it is and how far you can hear it. So it's just something we're working through. And I think we've actually made a lot of progress on it in the last couple months. It hasn't been as much of an issue, but prior to a couple months ago, there was a lot of attention on that issue.
So what's your biggest challenge that you faced as the mayor of the city of Safety Harbor?
So I'm a CPA, I have a financial background. So to me, I have a big focus on the budget, and I want to do our best to keep our millage rate low, provide a high level of services to our residents, and be responsible, take care of our employees, take care of, everything else that we have to, and just keep a responsible budget. That's, to me, it's one of the most important policy documents we pass. It's not that exciting. As we don't get a lot of people that show up when we had a budget workshop last night. We had one resident show up, but to me, it's one of the most important things we do is pass a responsible budget. So, but there's that. And I just, years ago when I ran, I think it was in 2013, I was focused on revitalizing our downtown. And since then, the downtown's been, revitalized, I think. So I don't put a lot of focus on revitalizing it. I think it's just happening organic now. The city did a partnership with somebody that built this beautiful Key West style building right on Main Street, where we offered them incentives to get some concessions on how they built the building to ensure that the first floor was not, title companies and, office space. It was a restaurant and another restaurant. And then the second floor had these big, beautiful balconies. And there was another restaurant up there. So they could have built a big shoebox looking building, but instead they built something that's architecturally beautiful, that's very, functional and offers, a lot to the community, I think.
So we talked a little bit about this at the mayor's council meeting about your CRA. It was just renewed?
Yes.
For, you said 6 years?
10.
10 years. Okay. Yeah. So, and that is just your downtown area? This building you're just talking about, was that a part of your CRA?
That's part of the CRA, yeah. It's right on Main Street.
Did you do any funds for that, or that was different funds?
Well, we didn't put money into it. I think we gave some franchise tax breaks. So it's been a while, so I don't know that remember the specifics, but we didn't give them CRA funds. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Let's go back to the big breakfast where we eat the scrambled eggs and the bacon.
If we have time.
Because we're
between raising money, right?
Giving out coffee.
Yeah. Collecting those dollar bills.
And I kicked your butt last year.
You did. It's the first time I lost in a while. I was kind of on my own home turf. You embarrassed me.
Well, at least you have a home turf.
Did you bring extra singles with you?
No.
All right.
And I wasn't expecting that. I thought for sure you were going to win, Joe.
You know what? We're gracious to the visitors, so maybe we planned it that way.
All right, so this year we have the breakfast. Now, in the past, Andy and the other mayors of the city of Oldsmar have done like little skits and stuff, and we've talked about this, you and I. Mm-hmm. What about a hockey shootout at our little Lightning hockey rink? What do you think about that idea?
How are the logistics going to work on that? How we can eat breakfast and get to the hockey rink and do a shootout?
No, we'll do it before and we'll record it. Right. They record it and they put it on the screen.
Yeah.
We can get a goalie, something like that. What are you thinking about? What would you like to do? Like a little competition to show everybody that we love working together.
I'm open to it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. All right. We'll come up with an idea.
Yeah.
All right. What else? What about, that's a little history. Can you tell us, a listening audience, a little bit about its history?
Safety Harbor's history?
Well,
the breakfast history. Yeah. So I believe it was started with Andy Steingold and was it Jim Ronacher?
I think it was.
Yeah, so it was a good tradition that they started.
And they started it with Maddie Williams and Oldsmar Cares, right?
Right.
For the donation of the money would go to those two organizations.
I know it was definitely Maddie Williams. Was it Oldsmar Cares back then? I don't know.
It was Oldsmar Cares. Okay. Yeah, because Oldsmar Cares has been around since I moved here.
Okay, I'll take your word on it.
But wasn't it before that? I can't, because somebody said it might have been longer than that. I'm not sure. We have to look into the history of that.
I think I'm pretty sure it was Andy Steingold. And I want to say Jim Monaco, but I don't know for sure on that one.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Anything else?
I just want to say thank you for having me. It was great chatting with you.
I am so glad you came to the city of Oldsmar and saw our old bank building, saw our council chambers. I really appreciate you taking the time out today for being my guest. To find a list of podcast segments, visit experienceoldsmar.com. I'm your host, Mayor Dan Saracki. Next time, I invite you to check out all the wonderful things to do in the city of Oldsmar, the parks, waterways, you name it. And don't forget, also go to our friend Safety Harbor because they got a lot of stuff going on there too. Thanks again, Joe. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.